my sister-in-law. She must have checked the back seat, for a scream followed shortly after. Come to think of it, Lisa had always been tormenting me. Indeed, there were the scenes at the wedding reception, the constant spam emails, and the sudden visit right before I gave birth. But that scream marked the beginning of Lisa's end. My name is Michelle Anderson. I'm 27 and just recently gave birth and returned from the hospital. My husband, Michael, is completely smitten with our newborn son, Alex, and he reluctantly went to work today. I get along well with my in-laws, and you could say we're living a happy married life. Except for Lisa, of course. From the very beginning, Lisa and I didn't gel well. Michael and I were classmates in middle school. Our school in a small town in Nebraska was peaceful with fewer students and an atmosphere where bullying was unheard of. Michael's family runs a decent-sized construction company in the area. Mostly working within the state, but occasionally getting orders from outside. It's well regarded. Their house was large, and our group of friends would often hang out or study there. Michael's mom was always welcoming. They had a part-time helper who kept the house tidy, and during her breaks, she'd serve us snacks and drinks. One summer day, while working on homework, we heard unfamiliar, heavy footsteps. Wondering who it could be, we were soon hit with an overpowering scent of perfume. "Mikey, I'm back!" A flamboyant, large woman called his name and literally jumped on him. He pushed her away, exclaiming, "Sis, we're studying here, okay? Oh, come on, Mikey. It's not nice to treat your sister like that after such a long time." She pouted. "I told you, we're studying. We have exams coming up." Yeah, whatever." She then scanned our group, pausing to look at each one of us. While she was doing that, he went to call his mom. She seemed to be sizing each of us up. When her gaze met mine, she frowned deeply. "Ew, why is she here?" No one really understood what she meant. She gestured towards some of the others and said, "You're okay, and so are you. But you." She pointed at me. "Don't get close to my Mikey. You seem so dull and gloomy." I was stunned, never having been spoken to like that before. My friends quickly jumped to my defense, saying things like, "She always helps us with homework." Or, "She's really smart. What's that got to do with anything? Being around her might make Mikey gloomy too." She waved her hands dismissively at me. She was wearing a dress with too many frills and ribbons for a summer day. And she was quite imposing, especially compared to us middle schoolers. "I'm leaving." I didn't listen to my friend's pleas to stay and hurriedly left, hearing Lisa's amused laughter behind me. That day, I got an apology call from Michael. "I'm sorry for what Lisa did. She's always been like that, ever since we were kids." "Oh, really? I don't know why she said those things to you." "It's okay. It's not your fault, Michael." But since that incident, every time someone mentioned going to his house, I hesitated. Time flew, we graduated, and went to different high schools. Our group drifted apart, and I lost touch with Michael. I bumped into him again when I moved to New York for college. After the orientation, as I was wandering through clubs trying to decide which to join, someone suddenly grabbed my arm. "Is that you, Michelle?" "Michael? Is that you?" It seemed too good to be true, but Michael was attending the same college and was in the same department as me. We had different majors, but we ended up taking many of the same classes. We started hanging out a lot. Those 4 years deepened our bond. Then came job hunting. Neither of us ended up going back to our hometowns. Michael was expected to take over his family's business, so I was surprised when I heard he wasn't returning. Then he told me, "You know, I never told you this, but I ran away from Lisa." I was shocked to hear this from him, who was looking so serious. "What do you mean?" "When I started high school, Lisa got a job at a local company through my dad's connections. She had always wanted to stay in New York and have fun, but she couldn't find a job anywhere else." Remembering the loud and overpowering presence of Lisa, I thought, So that's what happened. That's why I wanted to find a job and get married here. Is that okay with you? What do you mean by okay? You're the only one I want to be with. I couldn't help but hug Michael tightly. 3 years later, he proposed, and we decided to get married. When we went to his family home to introduce ourselves, Lisa was waiting for us. She looked at me and said, "What are you doing here? You're that girl from back then? I thought I'd never see you again after I threatened you that day." I remember being oddly calm and surprised she remembered that after 10 years. Then, at our wedding, Lisa caused a scene. "Why can't I wear the dress I like?" She had arrived in a huge, fluffy white dress. That made her look like a snowman. She arrived at the last moment. So we knew she did it on purpose. There was no time to change her outfit, and she wouldn't have fit into a backup dress anyway. She had always been on the larger side, and she seemed even bigger now. Then, at the reception, she really made a scene. After drinking way too much, she stumbled up during Michael's boss's speech, saying, "You don't have to hide that thin hair of yours," and laughingly took off his wig. I'll never forget the look on Michael's face. Everyone knows not to mention things like that, especially in public. Michael immediately ran over and apologized profusely. Our in-laws quickly grabbed Lisa from both sides and took her out. After the reception, we demanded an apology from Lisa. But she just sat there, crossed her legs, turned her head away, and said, "I will never